Alright, finally May. Time to start the challenge. Let's see where we're at on day 171 even. May 1st. Guess what I'm starting the day with? Imagine that. Oh, wait. Before I fill it all the way, I'm gonna do some iodine. 1, 2, 3. And I'm also going to do some Keto Electrolyte drops. About 10 drops in there. And then I'm going to top it off. Black coffee. In my little pebble mug. Because it looks like my mosey. Yep. My coffee drinking has evolved quite a bit over time. Every time I sit here, I'm reminded of how I need to paint these walls. We used to have a big piece of furniture there, and so it's got little scuffs on there. I've been up since 4. It is about 6 a.m. now, and I have to fix my hair at some point, but I did at least get my makeup done, so I feel a little bit more alive. Yeah, and this is probably, in fairness, like my 3rd cup of coffee, at least. My house hippo is coming up. Hi, baby. How are you? I just woke up Chainsaw so that she can start getting ready for school. And yeah. So here we go to Monday, May 1st, doing the things. My goal today is to fast as long as I can. My goal right now is to get back into at least doing a 16-8 regularly and then pushing it when I can. So last night I wrapped up my dinner just before 8, which honestly is kind of late for us. I normally eat a little bit earlier. So I finished dinner around 8. And yeah, so I am trying not to break my fast before noon, if not later than that if I can. And it's going to be kind of a hectic day at work, so hopefully I'll be able to push it. Until then, I'm going to focus on coffee and like sparkling, unsweetened sparkling water. And I am going to have electrolyte water too. And just kind of cycle through those, until it's time to eat. Before I leave the house, though, I am going to pack up something to take for lunch. My chunk dog wants to go outside. Mosey! Anyone have a house hippo out there? House hippo? Land manatee? Dump truck? Hi! So chunky. Oh, chunky. But yeah, I'm gonna try and pack up a lunch before I leave, and get that ready. And I think I'm gonna do a test for you guys today, since I'm gonna be fasted, and do a test on my electrolyte water. She's trying to jump on the table. Hold on. And there we have it. This is where pibbles go. They belong on tables. And the mess on my table. Mosey May. That's mine. My dog is weird. Okay, so now I have to hang out with her while I finish this coffee. But yes, I am planning on trying to do a blood sugar and ketone test today on my electrolyte water. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see you in a little bit. All right. I just trued up my brown butter. And I flavored this with cinnamon and a little bit of the pumpkin caramel skinny syrup. And it smells like Christmas. So now I'm going to listen to Christmas music. Fun fact, I listen to Christmas music all year. I know, I'm a crazy person. You can hear all of the sounds from South Park in the background, and I'm sorry in advance. Kind of. But yeah, now I'm going to listen to Christmas music. So, it's a year-round thing for me. Full disclosure. Anyway, yeah. So, if you have a favorite Christmas song, or if you're addicted like me, let me know down there. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, so real quick, I am going to do a blood sugar and ketone test on my electrolytes that I normally make for myself. This is what I usually use, my reusable water bottle, but for the sake of just a test, I'm doing a single serving of this. So this is just regular drinking water that's been chilled. It has a 1/4 teaspoon of the Morton Light salt, and then 1/8 teaspoon of magnesium citrate powder from bulk supplements. So this is what I drink pretty much anytime that I'm not drinking coffee. That's my normal thing. So basically with this, I flavor it with Crystal Light drops. Now, I choose to do the drops because they are sweetened with Splenda, essentially, so with sucralose. Some of the flavors also have Ace K, but most of them it's just sucralose. But I am going to... I use the drops, just to clarify, instead of using any of the powders, because the powders do have maltodextrin as an anti-caking agent, and I know from experience that that does negatively affect my blood sugar. So we are testing this today. I am going to go ahead and drink this, and then I'm going to test both my blood glucose and ketones after. I'm going to aim for 1 hour and 2 hours, but it's going to be dependent on traffic to get to work. But going into this, my blood glucose is 86, and my ketone levels are 0.5 millimolars. So I'm going to drink this, and then I'll check again in an hour, and again at 2 hours. And I'm also going to show right in here both the front and back of the drops that I use. The strawberry lemonade is like divine. Tropical coconut is delicious, but it's like $11 for a single bottle on Amazon because no one around me sells it, and so that makes me irrationally angry. But I'm going to drink this and then keep y'all posted on what sucralose does to my blood glucose and to my ketones. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, so the first check, 1 hour after the Crystal Light, my blood glucose was 83, so only dropped 2 points, so no big change there. And just getting a little bit of fresh blood for the ketone test. We'll do the countdown on that, and still at 0.6, so it did not change at all. All right, so it's the 2 hour mark to test, and we're gonna see. So my last one didn't have any volume for my 1 hour test because of work. So I am going to do this, and this is just a little quick intro, and what I'm going to do is just flip you around to show you the readings for each of them, because I don't have a stand here, so that's the plan. So hold tight and you will see both of my readings for 2 hours after having the Crystal Light water enhancer. No changes to ketones. My glucose is up a little bit. Just to kind of explain the little bump in my glucose by a few numbers. First of all, there's always a potential for a little bit of like a margin of error. But secondly, I am at work and I am in the middle of throwing my truck, which basically it's a lot of activity, a lot of heavy lifting. So there's always a potential that in moving my body and working my muscles, that it is releasing glycogen from my muscles into my bloodstream, and that might affect my glucose, at least temporarily. So just to explain that little bump. But otherwise, yeah, sounds like the Crystal Light is good to go going forward. Yay. Okay, lunch is going to be seltzer and whatever I've got left in this guy. So looks like a little more than half a pack, like 2/3 of a pack of the fully cooked bacon. I'm going to warm it up a little bit on a plate. That's what I'm going to have for lunch. Upon opening my bacon, I realized it was only 5 slices, which is not going to be enough. So I'm also going to find a pretty little avocado and have an avocado with it for lunch. Alright, avocado, salt and pepper, and that'll be it until dinner. Alright guys, I am going to try to wrap up my day, my May 1st day. So funny story, a lot of times when I'm outside, I am sitting on this couch behind me filming right now. I am sitting on the ground on my porch because my son, I love him, I do, but he is getting ready to, he just rebuilt the motor for his car and is getting ready to put it in over the course of the next couple of days, and so his heads are sitting in my normal spot. So I'm on the ground. And the ring light has me especially shiny. So a couple of things that I wanted to talk about to wrap up day 1 of my May consistency challenge and my May I Get to Know You challenge. So first off, the first question comes from Shannon in the Garden over on Instagram. She said that a lot of people are mentioning iodine lately and wanted to know what the story is. So tell us more. I am not an expert on iodine. I decided a few months back, and there are bugs, so if I'm swatting, that's why. But I decided a few months back after watching some videos from Dr. Barry on iodine that it would be worth supplementing. As a perimenopausal woman with a family history of underactive thyroids, despite the fact that my thyroid levels are normal. But iodine deficiency can sometimes affect thyroid levels. And so that's something that Dr. Bright talks about a lot. And so considering that I have a really thick family history of that, my mom she actually had thyroid cancer, but all 4 of her sisters are on thyroid medication because of underactive thyroid. So I figured it would only be beneficial. And according to Dr. Barry, it's one of those things where if you take an iodine supplement, your body will just dispose of any excess if it's unneeded in your urine. So I just kind of assumed like it's not going to hurt to try it. The only change that I have seen in using it is actually something that Dr. Elizabeth Bright discusses in some of her discussions about, I'm telling you this, now it's because I have a light, they're all flocking towards me. But sometimes, like, it's basically all of your reproductive organs need iodine to thrive. And so one of the things that some women find relief with iodine is like breast soreness or tenderness, especially during their cycles. So that's the only thing I've seen an improvement on, is I don't experience that. I didn't experience a lot of it before, but I really just haven't had any at all in the last several months since adding iodine. So I buy the really inexpensive Lucals 2% that's available on Amazon. I think it was like $11. I've been using it probably about 6 months now, and I'm about 1/3 of the way through the bottle. And I do 3 drops a day. So I hope that helps. But I would definitely, if you're wanting to find out more about iodine, I would check out Dr. Barry's videos on why iodine is important, and also where you can get it naturally and what the best supplements are. So I would check that out. Secondly, to wrap up my day, and I'm sorry, I'm itchy because allergies and the bugs keep flying at me and nature. But I today I did forget, and I'm so sorry. I did forget to take a picture of my dinner, which was some romaine little tacos with pulled pork in them from the Boston Butts we did the other day. And I mean to tell you guys, we're all so sick of pulled pork. Like, I am so ready to be done with it. I don't want any more. It's so good, but like, I've had pulled pork for every meal for the last like 4 days, and I'm over it now. I've tried everything. So yeah, but I did not take a picture of that. But I did wrap up my fast about my eating window about 7:30 tonight, was when I had finished up my dinner. And so that was just pulled pork, with just warmed up, no sauce, a little bit of homemade ranch, and the romaine boats. So that was my dinner. But I did spend most of the day, I checked my ketones pretty frequently. And one thing I just want to speculate, my lunch, which I did show, it was the fully cooked bacon, and then, and I say fully cooked bacon because it's like the microwavable kind, and then a very small avocado, like one of the teeny tiny ones that comes in the bag with multiples in it. And I had that just with salt and pepper and some sparkling water. And by process of elimination, I think the avocado is a culprit for me. I checked my numbers before my meal, and my glucose was great. My ketones were 0.6. And then I checked it again almost 2 hours. It was about an hour and a half after lunch, and my glucose was still good. It had only changed by a couple of points, and my ketones were gone, completely out of ketosis. And so I'm going to have to, I think, do a more controlled experiment with the avocado, because I find it amazing that that's like one of those foods that's touted as like a keto superfood. And I would find it really ironic if that's one of those things that actually like really negatively affected my ketones. So yeah, there's always a chance that there's some sort of error and that's why, but my ketones went from 0.6 to 0.1 after having lunch. So we'll see. Like I said, it might have just been a fluke, or it could be something to look into more. I don't have avocados often, so maybe I'll just hold off on those for a while and then try one again in a more controlled testing environment to see. But I thought that was interesting that, it's one of those things that's really, really encouraged when you're on a low carb or ketogenic diet. And I've never tested it until today. And that was bananas. But anyway, I'm rambling, and it's only like 8:30, but I'm super ready to go to bed. So I'm going to take off my makeup and go to bed. I am off tomorrow, so I'm going to try and find something fun to do for my video tomorrow, since I'm not going to be at work, just to give you something other than just what I eat in a day kind of thing. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and you should be seeing this, and each of these videos I'm going to plan on having scheduled to upload first thing in the morning the following day, so you'll get a full wrap that following day. So hopefully that will encourage me to stay consistent. So anyway, keep on coming if you guys have any more questions. I've got everything written down to try to answer over the course of the month. And so, yeah, if you have any more questions, drop them down below and I will add them to the list and get them answered too. And again, if you want to stay anonymous in your questions, you can always, anonymous to the YouTube world, okay, you can DM me over on my Instagram, which is @SouthernKetoVore, and I will keep your identity private. So, all right, guys, I will see you tomorrow for another day of my May consistency challenge, where you guys get to see my face every single day and watch me ramble. So thank y'all for all your support as always, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.